All right, I'll try that again. I'll start from the top. This is digital, designing digital formative assessments, and we're excited to have this little conversation with you as far as what tools are available for you. Um, we want to talk to you just a little bit. I'm Martine Brown, digital learning facilitator. Chelsea Cody, a digital learning specialist. And we're available Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 in the morning or 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Or you can tap into our Flipgrid and leave like a video message, and we'll give you individualized tutorials based on your questions. So we do have those options available for you. So our goals today are to explore tools for live, and we call that synchronous. So when you're interacting with your students live, and student paced, which is asynchronous, and that's anything they're going to do on their own. We're going to begin by diving into Jamboard, and then we'll transition to Pear Deck, and then we'll do a little Q&A at the end. If you see right here where the arrows are, that is the link to the presentation this morning for grades 3 through 5. Or if you check in the chat, it'll be there as well. We're going to take questions. Chelsea and I are going to flip back and forth, so I'll do the first half, Chelsea do the second half for this morning. And if you go to the chat, you can drop questions there, and we'll support you with that. So I want to start off by talking about Jamboard. It's a really, really great tool. I'd even go as far as to call it a whiteboard. We can use it as a whiteboard. To start a Jamboard, we can do it from Drive. There's a couple different ways we can do it. I'm going to actually share my whole screen so that I can model a little bit of this for you. And so you would start with the new Jamboard from your Drive. You would insert images on what's called a deck, and you can share it like anything else in Google Docs. So that's just the basics of how we use a Jamboard. And if you look on the right, we have a video right here, just in case you forget. If we were talking about doing it live, this is a link that you can drop in the Google Meet chat. But if you weren't going to do it live, you can drop it into Google Classroom and kids could work with it there. Another great option you have is to use it as a Jamboard. So I'm going to do a combination of modeling and showing you how you can use this as a whiteboard. So I'm just going to add a new tab here, and I'm going to go to my Drive. And then I'll go to New, More. And then if you see right there, Jamboard is right there. I'll give my Jamboard a name. And then from there, I've got several options. I can use the pen that allows me to write. I can use the eraser where I can erase content. I can even clear the whole frame. I can just use my regular pointer. I can drop sticky notes. And I can change the colors of those sticky notes. I can even add pictures, which means if you have content, let's say you had some content that was on a PDF, you could take that PDF, take a screenshot of it, turn it into a picture, drag and drop it here. So I'll just do a Google image search. Chelsea knows what I'm going to do. I do the same thing. You can even drop pictures in there. You also have a laser pointer as well. So if you were demoing something, you can actually say, hey guys, I want you to look at this photo right here and give me some feedback about what you see. Okay. So I also want to note that I'm using this on a desktop computer. and it has 4 options. But when we go to the app, there are actually a few other things that you can do that are really cool. So I'm going to show you that as well. If I wanted kids to work on this, I'd click on that share button. And just like everything else, I can change my sharing settings. And once I change them, copy and paste this link, drop it in the classroom, wherever you need it to go. So that's that part. I want us to take a second just to try it out. So if you're in the presentation, whoop, my mouse is really giving me problems this morning. If you're in the presentation, if you click on this right here, it's going to take you to a slide deck, a deck that we've been using. And we've already set our sharing permissions so that anyone in Garland can find and edit. So just want you guys to take a few minutes to go in there and drop some words, sticky notes, images, that kind of thing. Just want you to practice for just a second.
A note while you guys are dropping in your edits there, I just posted the link in the chat. So this is just like Martine was saying, I could share that link with my students and then they can access. If you've been sitting here wondering, wow, Chelsea keeps posting the same links, the same information. Remember, when you're coming into a Google Meet, if people are joining after you have posted something in that chat, they don't see it. So as you're seeing us keep posting the presentation links, it's because people sometimes are getting kicked out or for whatever reason they're leaving, coming back in. So if you keep seeing those same links, oh, look at the sunflower.
That's beautiful.
That's why we are, that's why you'll continue to see the same thing.
All right. So we've got a few people that have dropped some things on there. Real user-friendly, real easy to use. Oh, I see someone. Oh, yeah, that's Chelsea. She's rocking out that pen feature. I have a son that's in Garland. He is in 1st grade. And so a lot of the assignments that have been coming in, they've been in PDF form, and he's having to like draw or create. I've actually been using Jamboard to have him write the answers on the paper, because we have a printer, but you got to like pull it out, plug it in, run the file, print it. And so we've only been using, I've been teaching him how to use Jamboard. I usually add the image on the Jamboard and then he writes on top of it. So that's how I've been using it to help him get his assignments done. The last thing I want to show you, we have a couple resources here. Christina Etheridge, who's right here in Garland ISD. These are some examples of some things that she's done. Kim Matina also offers some Jamboard support. And then the video you saw earlier, that was from the EdTech show. And he's just showing you how to use Jamboard and then how to present. So it's just modeling what I did today. So there is an app for iPad, iOS, Chromebook app, which remember, that's different. This is the web browser that we're working in, but there is an app. So if you have students who have an iPad or have the Chromebook app, there are actually some additional features that they can use. So I want to show you what some of those are. The first one is shape recognition. Whoop. Sorry, guys, my kids are arguing. Okay, Dad's got them. Dad's the rescue. So there are 3: shape recognition, auto draw, and emoji. So I'm actually going to pull, I connected my iPad to my MacBook. So I do want you to know that. So this is my iPad screen that we're looking at now. And I'm going to go to the Jamboard app. And remember, now we're talking about the actual app. So if I go back to this designing digital formative assessments. On the app, it looks a little different, and there are some additional features. Okay, so the first one is when I click on the pencil. Guys, give me 1 second.
While Martine is gone, does anybody have any questions they want to ask? And then when she comes back, we'll go ahead and get back on where she was. Paige, I see you have a question. If you wanted to unmute, go ahead and ask that question.
Okay, so I use Jamboard, and with my students, I have given them the link to it in the Google Meets. I've been uploading a picture of a math problem and then posting it on the different slides. So each individual student has their own slide to work with. However, I'm having issues with them going and messing with other people's work. And I can't figure out who it is because they don't have the pictures for the icons. Now I know with Google Docs, Google, slides, you can actually go and view the history and see who's doing what. I can't find it on Jamboard.
Yeah, that's not available through a Jamboard. And there's actually no way to track that history. You'd almost have to give each kid their own Jamboard if you wanted to avoid that, or really have a good conversation about digital citizenship and why, it's really important that they be honest about the work that they're doing and how they're navigating and that kind of thing. Chelsea, do you have anything to add to that point?
No, that's what I would say too. Until you can narrow that down, it's difficult to do that. I like Martine's idea of, hey, since we're having issues staying in our own slide, editing our own slide, our own work, we're going to go to individual slides. Just be aware and you might not even tell them that you're the only one that can see it, and then add an extra slide on there and see who starts getting a little outside their slide. Mm-hmm. Not that would mean incriminate them, but be a little sneaky, because some students will act crazy, not realizing that you're the only one that can see it.
Mm-hmm. You have to maybe do a little bit of
that's a great use for it, Paige.
Yeah, might have to do a little teacher investigative work. At my house, we always have a detective that does fingerprint checks and that kind of thing. All right, so I do want to show you these 3 features, and this is only on the app. So when I click on the pencil here and I go down here to the shape recognition. So when I draw a shape.
Martine, we lost your iPad screen again. No worries. I think when it kicked you out, it kicked off your.
Oh yeah, it kicked everything out. Yep, it did. Let me present all of that now. All right, so when I click on this pencil here, you probably see it as a pencil right now. And remember, this is only from the app. When you click on the pencil, it will give you the option of the shape recognition. And so if I create this square, it automatically becomes a nice, perfect square. Same thing if I do a circle. Same thing if I do a triangle. Okay, so that's one option. The second option is auto draw, which I'm going to add a slide. And so with auto draw, let's say I draw, there we go. I draw these 2 lines. At the bottom of the slide, it starts coming up with potential, it kind of starts to guess what I might be drawing. So I'm going to pick this grass, right? Or if I do a smiley face, it'll give me some options at the bottom of what I can pick. Okay, so we have that. Then if I click on this plus symbol down here, I have the option to add emojis, and there are a few little infographics. These are new. I hadn't seen these before. So this would actually be a great way to get kids to start thinking about and organizing their ideas or responding to ideas. Or this could also be a way that you give feedback as a teacher. So those are just 3 features that are available to you. Let me go back in here and grab the presentation again. Chelsea, will you drop the presentation link again? Because I got knocked out of everything. Thank you. So like to take some more questions. Does anyone have questions about the options that are available to you in Jamboard? Any other questions? All right, we're gonna keep moving. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that Chelsea can pick up with the next section.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch back and forth just so that you can see. When I'm teaching, sometimes I use a single window that I'm sharing. Sometimes I use my whole screen. So for part of what I'm showing you today, I'm going to show you my whole screen. Some of what I'm showing today, I'm only going to show a window. So I'm going to go ahead and right now I'm just showing this one screen. So if I'm moving between my tabs again, I can see everything that is in this window. If I pull a tab out of this window, you guys won't see it anymore. I do want to ask you to split your screen. That's why I'm showing you this. Like Miss Aurora, she's on her mobile. So if she was on her mobile, if we had students on a mobile and they're joining in the meet, to be able to interact with Pear Deck, they would want a second device. And that's the section we're going into right now is Pear Deck. If I'm doing it live with my students, I want to be able to see their faces, beautiful, beautiful faces. And then I also want to be able to see what I'm presenting with them. So if you are on a device right now, a computer, go ahead and split your screen when we pull up our Pear Deck so that you'll have your Pear Deck on one side. And my screen looks almost exactly like this. You'll see on the left, I'm going to have my Pear Deck. On the right, I'm going to have your faces. And you could switch it, whatever works for you. I'm right-handed for whatever reason I like what I'm looking at on the left, what I'm working at on the right. But it's up to you how you want to do that. What I need you to do, and I'm going to show you this as well, is you're going to go to joinpd.com and you are going to join my Pear Deck as a student. I want you to be able to join as a student so you can see what that would look like if we're working on devices live, if we're working from whatever device you're working from. And then I will be modeling the teacher side of things so you can see those things as well. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a full screen. So I will give you that code in just a second. Again, I apologize if you see cute baby pictures on my desktop. It keeps me happy. So if you see a little face pop in over here at the bottom, just know that's my daughter or my family. Could be my family. Could also be the digital learning team. Who knows what's going to come up on my pictures. So on the left, I have the Pear Deck. If I had students joining, I could post this code a couple of ways. I could put it on a slide deck where they see the LRCFQ, or in my presentation, and I'm going to model this too, there is an option to give a link to students. So I just copied the link. I'm going to come over to our chat in our meet, and I've got it like this so that you can see exactly how I would do this. And I'm going to drop the link. So what you could do now is just click this link in the chat and then join. I'm going to make you guys a little bit smaller. I'm going to turn on my grid view so I can see everybody's nonverbals and if the chat pops up. And then I am going to be showing you the Pear Deck. If I was in a classroom, what is here on the left, I would put up on my TV screen or my presentation screen. This would be something that my students are looking at. But for me as a teacher, I would open my teacher dashboard, and I'm going to show you why. And I'm not going to really be looking at this presentation. Here on the left is what students are going to be seeing and what's projected. This teacher dashboard, and I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to actually overlap it. And it tells me this every time. Okay, I'm going to, oh no. Sometimes Pear Deck I have to reload a couple of times. It's just like any other Google Doc. It just takes a little bit of prompting sometimes, of reloading. Okay, so this is my teacher dashboard. You are all on this first slide right now. I know that you're able to see this slide. What I did is I created a Google slide presentation, actually the presentation we shared with you guys today, and then I embedded some interactivity. You can tell the code that's in this presentation is different than what you joined with. And I just want to take a second to mention this because sometimes we have teachers ask why it's not showing their changes. Once I start a presentation in Pear Deck with a Google slide deck, any changes I make to that deck do not apply. So I started this presentation today, and then I went back and I replaced the code, the JCRMJ code, so it's not there. If I was presenting this with students, I would not be presenting this screen. Hoping that it's moving, you guys. I would just be showing the presentation screen, and I would probably present just a window. So they're only seeing their part, and then they're seeing me and my talking, my whatever I'm saying with them. But they would only see this window and then me in the meet talking. But I want you guys to be able to see this. Okay, first thing that you would do in Pear Deck, this will make your guys' life way easier, is you are going to add the Pear Deck extension. Okay, so hopefully you are seeing me talking and me with my dashboard, and then in a separate window you're seeing the student side. But you want to add the add-on. The reason why you want to add the add-on is you can edit your Google slide right there in Google Slides and add in Pear Deck templates. Adding in the templates is what makes it interactive for the students. That's where our formative assessment is going to come from. You also want to add the Pear Deck power up. Mine is not working for right now. I've reached out to their support and we're figuring out what's going on. But if my power up was working, you would see animated GIFs playing. So these, the little click arrows, those would be flashing. It also allows videos to play for your students. So if you have a video embedded in your Pear Deck, it allows that to play. And then it also pushes the little Pear Deck icon up here into your toolbar. So you're not having to go to add-ons every time and then go down to Pear Deck. But you would want to add both of those extensions. Okay. To add the extension, you could just click on this link here. That would add the extension. In Google Slides, to get the add-on, the Pear Deck add-on, you'd go to add-ons, get add-ons, and then search for Pear Deck. I see we had a question. Let me see what Jason said real quick. Are you able to add it if you are using an iPad to open slides? I have not used Pear Deck on the slides because it's an add-on and an extension. I would guess, Jason, that you would have to go through to do Pear Deck. You would have to go to Pear Deck in your web browser and add the templates from there. The Slides app on an iPad or a mobile, you can't add templates from the Slides app. So you would want to build your Pear Deck on a laptop, Chromebook, MacBook, so on and so forth. Once you have the add-on and the extension, this is what your slide would look like. Okay, you would have your Google slide already designed, or you could be designing it. And when you get to a slide that you want students to interact with, you would open the Pear Deck templates to the right. So I could either click Pear Deck in my toolbar if I have the power up, or I can click add-ons, click Pear Deck, and it opens up this sidebar. In the sidebar, I can view a lot of different templates. They have before, during, after questions. They have templates for littles, ELAR, science, math. You can search all of those in their template library, pre-made. I click a button, it adds it to the slide, and then I can move around. If I wanted to add my own, start from scratch, I can click on the text, choice, number, website, draw, all of those. Okay. Here is an example. Yes, there are SEL templates that are awesome. Here's an example. So on my teacher dashboard, it says waiting for a response because I'm waiting for you guys to answer the question. You can only see your screen right now and what you're dragging. So you're dragging your dot to, you either agree that you take your coffee very seriously or you disagree. If it was Martine Brown, she would be on the disagree. She does not drink coffee, she likes tea. So I could always say I take my hot drinks very seriously. But, oh, I see we have a lot of coffee drinkers. Me too. Finished my first cup this morning. I don't know if this is a 2-cup kind of day. Yes, Michael, I see you're also working on that. Sweet tea. Oh, sweet tea, Martine, is so good. I can see all of the dots. So if you can see my screen, I can see everybody here right now because I've got it in what's called overlaid layout. So I've got student on top of student on top of student or on top of student. If I wanted to see individual students, I can click the grid layout and then I can see each person's, okay? I also want to point this out. I like the grid layout because I can also see when we first came in and it asked, how are you feeling today? If you clicked skip, then I don't have anything. But if you clicked green, orange, I think it's red is the other one, I have a quick check of how are my students doing today? And that's just a good way to stay mindful. My students coming in, how are they feeling when they're coming into my class? From here, there's a couple of things I can also do. I can show you a single response or everybody's responses. So I'm going to do overlaid again. And I want you to be able to see this because if I show responses on your screen, you see everybody pop up. And if I have that one student that now realizes everybody can see me and they start moving their dot around all crazy, everybody sees the dot move around all crazy. So if I don't want the dots going crazy, I can also lock their screens. Okay, guys, make sure you have your answer and I'm going to lock your screen. And now you can't move your dot, but I'm showing everybody's responses. If this was a question like, I need extra time, I don't need extra time. Think about those kind of questions. Hey guys, this looks like we did a fist to 5. Most of you are saying you need 2 more minutes, so on and so forth. I can unlock the screen. I can hide the responses. I can also show individual responses. Because we are a premium district, okay, because we've purchased premium, I automatically see your names because of your Google account. So when students sign in using their Google, I see their name here. So I can see who is here. I don't see everybody in my class. Like I see 28 people are over in our webinar, but only 16 are here. They may not have done the activity yet, okay? Or they may not have joined. So that's another thing that I can see right away. If I have somebody come in late, I can show the join code again on yours and I can close all those kind of things from here. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. This is brand new. You are the first group that I am showing this to. So I just wanna say, hey, Kate, Pear Deck, like many tech companies right now, is really trying to listen to its teachers, okay? I swear I talked about this the night before it came out. I made sure nobody is bugging my house. I made sure that they're not creeping on my back porch, but they released this the next day. I'm not saying that it's connected, but it was a coincidence. Okay, you can now insert audio to a Pear Deck. So if you've already been inserting audio into a Google slide and you're wanting to share that with students, say you're doing pronunciation, you're working on cadence, or you want to have narrated audio for your students, you can insert that directly in Pear Deck. I do want to take a second and talk about this. If you already know how to insert audio in slides, inserting audio in Pear Deck is a different method. You have to insert audio through there, adding audio. If you have the audio in the slides, it doesn't change over. It just looks like an image. You would see the speaker image. They can't click on it. It's not interactive. I included a link here on the steps of how to insert audio. I'm not going to do that today, but on your side, I'm hoping you're able to see that I inserted audio. Are you guys able to click on that? Yes, thank you, Martine. So I see this little prompting up here. It says audio included. So on your side, I think you're able to click and hear that audio. Okay, this would be extremely important if we're talking about sharing with our students in that asynchronous way. And I'm going to talk about the 2 different ways you can present to your students now. So the way that I presented today, I made everything in my Google slide, added in my Pear Deck activities. Then I went to peardeck.com, signed in with my Garland account because I want those premium features. And then I went down to present a file from Drive, and I chose the slides from today. You will see it will show every single slide you've ever worked on. Doesn't matter if it's for Pear Deck, doesn't matter if you've made a copy of something, it will show every slide that you've worked on because it's connected to your Drive. So then I chose the one that I wanted to present. And once I click on that slide, it gives me two options. It says, do you want to do this student paced or do you want to do it live? And for today, I did start live, and I had this screen with the code. I copied the link, I put it in our Meet. However, if your students aren't able to be with you live, there is a student pace option. So this would be that asynchronous. So not in real time, they could complete it whenever they want. I click start student paced, and then I'm able to post that in Google Classroom, which you guys are using for 3 through 5. I can also tell them to go to joinpd.com, and I can give them a code. Okay, and I can share directly to Google Classroom from Pear Deck, again, because it's connected to my Google account. Okay, it's got access to my Drive, and I'm working on my slides in there. Okay. And then you saw me today to open the teacher dashboard. So I wanted to give you another look at an activity. Now that we kind of wrapped up our quick intro on Pear Deck, I want to see what was challenging, what was easy, what was interesting. Okay. On a drawing slide, students can draw the picture, or they can also insert text. So if it was easier for students to type, they could type. You see right now, I only have 2 showing because only 2 people have started the activity. Once more people start drawing, just like when we did the draggable dot, I'll start seeing more responses. And I'm in this list view where I can scroll because that's how it starts when there's just a couple. Oh, I like the pear. Okay, I can look at the grid view now that more people are responding. I can also look at the overlay layout. Doesn't really help me here, right? Because everybody's drawing something different, but I just wanted to show you. There's sometimes I'm using this, sometimes I'm not. Now, if I was working on this slide with students, I would take a lot more time looking at each response and giving the students time to fulfill this slide. Maybe I'm reviewing what we're talking about today. Maybe I'm looking on this side of things so that I can be addressing what I'm noticing, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and move you on. So if you're doing a really pretty drawing right now that you wanna finish, you are welcome to do that. As a teacher, I can always come back and see these as well. You notice that if I go to the next slide, you're not able to work on that previous slide if I am doing the class paced, okay? Here is a quick look again at the teacher dashboard, okay? And I wanted to include a couple of resources for you. So we've got, Pear Deck has some awesome live webinars. You can go pop in just like how we are in a webinar right now. They have recorded help videos, so you can go and look for what you want, watch that, add it to your toolbox. And then the final thing there is I included templates for littles. I know that we are 3 through 5, but according to Pear Deck, sometimes they lump 3 through 5 with that K2 because Pear Deck is used pre-K through 12. So sometimes they label it that, the littles. I will tell you there are some littles on there, things like letter association, pronunciation, decoding, but I know that we still cover some of those things in 3 through 5th grade. At this point, I'm going to end the Pear Deck, and I wanted to show you takeaways. Okay, this little checkbox down here says publish student takeaways. What a takeaway is it's going to take your slide and your response, okay, what the activity was, what you said, and insert a place for reflection, all in a Google Doc. Okay, now it takes a while for these to publish, so you might not see these till the end of day today, but you will have a takeaway in your drive from today's session. This is really powerful with students, again, because we could go through the whole thing with the lesson. I could have them go back and reflect on their learning, or if they weren't able to complete something when we're in the live and I want them to go back and finish it, they can work on those takeaways. What it's doing right now is it is finding a link to a folder in Google Drive. So if I could add that link to Google Classroom, like I said, Pear Deck is moving a little bit slow today, so it might take a while to find these takeaways. I could go find them in my drive once they process, and then I could share them with students, but it will automatically share it in your drive. So this link right here, I'm going to show you. Okay, so it is still processing. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that. The takeaway link will take them to their Pear Deck takeaway. And then as a teacher, I'm done. So on your side, yes, exactly, Martine. So on your side, you guys can go ahead and close out of the Pear Deck. So we're done with that. And I'm gonna go ahead and change my presenting to a single window again, because I don't need to see all the students or they see themselves. I'm going to present a window and I'm going to go back to just my presentation. So as the teacher, I still have my screen split, but you will only see the presentation. And now I'm going to go to the end of Pear Deck. Okay, and that's what we have today for our formative assessments. We talked about Jamboard and Pear Deck. Okay, we want to give you guys credit for coming today. So if you did not already see in the chat, we posted a link to the presentation so that you can go back and revisit that as much as you need. And then you are also going to see a link for attendance. So if you want to go ahead and fill that out, if you don't have the title exactly correct, we can figure it out. But we're looking for that taking formative assessments and modeling digital, or designing digital formative assessments might be an option on there. And then while you're filling that out, again, Martine talked about these at the beginning, but I want to touch on it again. Every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 and 2 to 3, usually all four of us, of our digital learning team, we are in a Google Meet waiting for you guys to come in, ask us questions, bounce ideas off of us. Anything we went through today that you want to walk through slower, or you'd like some extra help on, or you want some ideas on, come pop into those office hours, okay? You also have a phenomenal I3 at your campus, okay, who has also been using some of these tools already. You heard her talking about using Jamboard with her students. Oh, that works. That's fine. It's okay if you compare that.
We have a question in the, I'm sorry, Chelsea, we do have a question in the chat. The question is, let me see if I can find it. What was the name of the Google app to split the screen?
There is no app to split your screen. There is no app to split your screen. Are you talking about an extension? There is an extension called, yes, Paige, great question. It is called the scissors. The scissors, it's this one right here. You don't have to have the extension to split your screen. Let me show my whole screen and then I will model that, because it is really good to know how to.
While she sets that up, what the extension provides is the ability for it to be even on both sides, but it's not required. You can just drag it over and resize it.
Yes, so this is what they were asking about. No, that's a great question. You never apologize. So if I wanted to use the extension, here's the scissors, so it'll split the tab out, or glue will bring them back together. So I'm going to show you if I split with the scissors. Here's what she's asking about. It pulls it to the side. You see how it made it equal. Okay, I can resize as necessary. It's just a quick help. I'm not going to do the glue, because if I did the glue, all of the tabs from this window would suck into this one, and I don't want to do that. To pull out your splitting, so here's my tab right here. If I click and I'm holding down like, ooh, and I drag, it drags the tab out. I could even put it in this window. I can move that tab to wherever I want. I hope that helps on that. We're definitely going to take some more questions too. I did want to point this out too. This link is in the presentation. All of our webinars that we have been doing during this at-home learning time, we have made a catalog on the digital learning website. Okay. So if you go to the digital learning website, right there on the home page are links to webinars, not just by the digital learning team, but also by our phenomenal one-to-one coaches. So you can see just a couple here to do with Google tools. There's ones on formative assessment like we did today. There's one about enhancing your student communities, building that positivity and community even though they're not together.